I know you switched over. Hi.
Okay.
Welcome, travelers. If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your precautious and precocious DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons&Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia Shadow by Forgive Durden. We have a brief introduction to the setting that you can read at your leisure, and I hope you will, so you can be as immersed in the world as our players are. We also have a very special event happening tonight that you get to enjoy if you are here live, and if you are not live, that's okay. We will do this again, but this was a little impromptu and we're very excited about it, so we're doing it. Impulsivity is just part of my nature. It's somewhere on my character sheet, but we're doing a giveaway tonight. We are giving away, in honor of our 100th video on the channel, which is very, very cool that we've done 100 of these little creations. In honor of that, we are giving away a $25 Amazon digital gift card for one lucky winner in the chat tonight. Without further ado, please enjoy this episode of Razia Shadow 1000-Year Interlude. Let's recap. Session 26. Return to Dust. The group quietly approached the ruins of Undra and the hovel that looked even further dilapidated than when they were last there only a week or so prior. A trap at the front door tried to dissuade some of the group from going further, but it didn't stop them. Inside the hovel, they found the wreckage covered in a fine layer of dust, some of which gave off a sense of conjuration magic under Beau's detect magic spell. They also found the once blockaded stairwell now uncovered. It didn't lead deep into cavernous depths this time. Below was a simple basement used like a storage space for broken furniture and completely covered in dust. What awaited them, or rather what joined them, was a dust devil and its little but fierce dust bunny companions. The novices were able to dispatch the threat, but didn't foresee another trap that they accidentally triggered. It caused an explosion that set the hovel alight and forced them to make a quick escape. After a rest, Captain Nora waited with a distraught Viola by the wagon, while Beau, Snow, and Ste'yn investigated the destruction further. They spotted what the trap might have been guarding, a permanent teleportation circle hidden in the dust of the basement. So, I think we saw a great deal of what was happening in the steadily burning remains of the hovel. So we're going to jump over to the other side of this clearing for a moment, over where Viola is sitting with Cherry, and Cherry being their current noble steed, who's getting along a lot better than previous days. Good for you, Cherry. The cart and Captain Nora sitting near her, only speaking if it seems appropriate. Viola seemed very, very upset for the events that happened, potentially because she might have been involved in the triggering of the trap. It's okay. We love her. Anyway, so across the clearing, by where you guys had entered, Cherry is tied up to the horse. Nora and Viola are sitting on the grass. Viola, is there anything that you are doing while the others have taken this time to investigate the hovel?
I think once they walked over and started investigating the hovel, she'd stay sitting down, but she'd be like gazing on in that direction, kind of like keeping an eye on what they're doing. And then I think she would have been studying Nora a little bit more closely.
She's also watching in that direction. Her eyes don't seem to have left but a few times from the growing and then shrinking flames, the big plume of black smoke rising high in the air. She seems to be more focused on that, at least watching it.
So noticing that, Viola's gonna ask her if she's all right.
She almost doesn't seem to hear you at first, before she finally kind of pulls her gaze from the hovel, from the flames, and looks over at you, slowly nods. I think my heart is just settling, finally, after all of that. It's been an exciting morning.
Yeah, you can say that again. I don't know about you, but I've never had a close brush with fire like that before.
I hope you never do again.
Yeah, I'll need to double check what Beau is asking me to do, or even when I'm offering to help Beau with something, I guess I need to double check before I just rush straight to it. You'd think I would have learned that the first time, but clearly not.
But you should not blame yourself. You couldn't
Wow.
possibly have known something was there.
But it only takes one mistake for someone's life to be taken. And while I'm okay with having the blood of enemies on my hands, I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself if you or Beau or Snow or Ste'yn had perished due to something I had done, whether it was intentional or not.
He slowly nods. But you don't have to learn that today. We're all okay.
I'm thankful for it. I'm guessing by around this point, maybe they would have started to go down into the hovel.
So it took 30 minutes to dig
Oh,
the
yeah,
dirt
that's true.
on there. So it
Well,
depends on
yeah.
how long it took you to start speaking. Like
That's
if you
true.
were in kind of like shock for a while and then
Yeah, I
started
can
saying it.
imagine. Yeah, I can imagine they were sitting there in silence for a little while. Give me an insight check, Viola.
That's a 5.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, not to any surprise, but as you are talking to Nora and kind of gauging her well-being, you get that general sense of just still maybe in shock. It's hard to tell, but the mood is definitely altered. It is dampened. It had been that way. Did you want to go see what the others were doing?
Once Viola starts, once she sees them start trying to like get down into the basement again, she would walk over and stand kind of off to the side behind Ste'yn. She wouldn't necessarily say anything, but she just wants to help keep an eye on everybody. And once she got up, she would offer a hand to Nora to help her up if Nora wants to come along.
She kind of raises a hand and shakes her head. I'll keep an eye on Cherry.
Well, I'll go keep an eye on these 3.
Please do. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson. I promise.
I meant the burning house. The whole... Never mind. And she's kind of actually wringing her hands a little bit as you leave. So you go over to the others.
Mm-hmm.
Folks in the hovel. Ste'yn, Beau, and Snow.
Ste'yn was outside the hovel.
Ste'yn's sitting.
Ste'yn was
That's
above,
the
that's
hovel.
right. The boys went back down, discovered this teleportation circle. Yeah, you guys was there anything else you guys wanted to investigate while you were there? Or
I mean, the
anything
rest
you
of
wanted
it's
to-
still on fire, right? Except for like the path that we made.
Yeah, so down there, you're just completely surrounded by just this collapsed, charred, or like still actively burning beams. There's dust that had picked up and was settling again. It's a lot of just that burning and destruction. There's a lot of it over in the corner where that right corner where one of those marble pillars was, which you recognize was below the kind of mudroom that was upstairs. That's where a lot of that debris is. The stairs have been completely demolished at that point. And you actually see there's like cracks in the wall because it's a basement level. It was below ground. You can actually see there's like cracks in the wall there. Some earth kind of coming through.
Snow will take another look around the teleportation circle, make sure there's nothing else that we miss in the area without getting too close to the fire.
Hey, give me an investigation check. If anyone else wants to look, you can as well.
Well, Beau is writing it in his book. He was doing that from the start of Snow's Identify. So for the last 11 minutes, he's been just drawing it in his spell book. So I don't know if there's more that he needs to do to investigate it from there.
You're just copying what you see of the circle and its glyphs.
Uh-huh.
Give me some type of...
Arcana.
Sure. Let's go for it.
So that is a 21 without psionic. Do I need to roll that?
No.
Okay.
You're able to quite well start getting this into your grimoire. Snow, you were doing investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's have it.
And I did really well. It was a natural 1.
I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to do. I want to help. I don't know what to
Smoke
do.
gets into his eyes and he cannot see.
More likely, he gets bored again and he goes back up to join Ste'yn. Actually, what he does is he starts trying to use prestidigitation to put out like tiny bursts of flame. Just like every time it starts to spread a little bit, he just like puts it out and then watches it come back and he puts it out.
I love that. That's what happens while Beau is copying this, and you're just like, I'm gonna go look and get distracted with this. I love this.
Hey, this is fun.
Viola joins up top with Ste'yn. Is there anything else you guys were looking to investigate while you were here?
Anything else down there? Anything else magical? Do you think that's it?
I'm pretty sure it is. Snow, did you find anything?
Yeah, I found that I can't put out all of the flame, but I actually can put out like little bits of it. And it's just like every 6 seconds.
Dan looks down and is watching this, and he's a child.
It's fun, you should try it.
I'm okay.
I forgot you don't like to have fun.
Correct.
Ste'yn, are you still holding on to the rope?
I do still have the rope. I'm not going to I let you down, but I'll pull you back up.
Wow, thanks. Snow will climb back.
Yeah, and Beau will go up.
As you guys are coming back up, it's then that you see Captain Nora is actually dashing in your direction, looking harried, which could be because of the burning building that she's running towards or something else. But she comes running towards you guys, slowing down as she gets to you, and she looks pale, like there's a look of horror on her face, almost a little bit dumbfounded. I forgot something. And she looks back over her shoulder, looks back at you guys. It completely slipped my mind while we were coming over here. When Captain Elikin returned, saying he hadn't found anything, he did say that they were going to set up a blockade on the main road in this direction, heading south, which no one is meant to pass.
But there was nothing there.
We didn't take the main road. We started on the main road, but when we were coming back around, we were off the main road.
All right, we'll go that way then.
They'll probably be here any minute, and we need to not be here. You need to not be here.
What do you mean? The blockade?
Why would they be here?
Yeah, blockades aren't renowned for movement. They're usually static.
It's perhaps the wrong word. I don't... You can see her fumbling.
Take a deep breath. Explain again. What's the situation?
They were told to block the main road. Make sure no one comes through, which obviously means he found something. Point being, this isn't guardianship territory. This is city territory, which, on top of already what I've already asked you to do, is slightly beyond me. You're not supposed to be here.
Well, technically, this isn't a job anyway, so it's not like we're on guardianship business. We're just citizens.
That makes it worse.
Does it?
Yes.
Why?
But we just need to get out of here?
We need to leave. This is probably a great big signal that something's gone wrong out here, which is only going to make them more upset.
You know, that makes sense.
I'm so sorry, I completely forgot.
Or we could try to hide among the trees and see what they're after here.
You think you could keep Cherry out of danger?
Well,
Keep
I
them
don't
in
think
line.
I should be right over here anyways. I'm not very sneaky.
I'm sure if you don't
What?
move...
But I could take Cherry off a little bit further and you guys could stay here.
Well, actually, we can go farther away. I could listen and watch through Claude.
Oh.
Who's Claude?
You can...
His
My
bat.
He has his bat, the bat
Oh,
come
yeah,
out of the
it's the most
pocket
obvious
dimension.
thing in the world. My bat.
I forgot you had a bat.
It is a cute
Yeah.
bat.
So,
Or you could make your way back to the city where you should be anyway.
let's
then
not be
avoid
boring,
any
Nora.
I agree with Beau on this one. Let's not be boring.
Boring is the
I don't
least
know,
of
we're
my
watching.
concerns.
Whatever
what we're
we're
watching
doing, we
for,
should
but I
probably be
love-
doing it
I'm
quick,
sorry,
because
what
we've already
is-
been sitting here for an hour and a half after I blew up the place.
And besides, what exactly do these people do in these blockades? You make it sound like they're gonna burn us.
No, they're Peace Watch.
Well, you're not seeming like they're gonna be peaceful about this.
No, they may not. Not if it's a direct
Are you
order
saying
that
they'd
they're
arrest
told-
us?
Probably.
That's not that big
Okay,
of a
cool.
deal.
So let's not be seen.
Let's hide.
We can go out about 90 feet from here, keep it low, and then we can watch.
Viola's gonna go ahead and start going over to get Cherry ready to go.
I can also probably speak to them myself. It's a lot less danger I'm in. They're not. Well, I
But
think
they'll
anyway.
probably be like, "Who did you come here with? You probably didn't come here by yourself." That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
I don't. Perhaps.
Do we happen to hear anything, see anything that indicates some of them might be getting very close?
You give me a perception check.
Excellent. It's a natural 20 for a 30.
I was gonna say, can we all do that? But don't need to.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't immediately you don't hear some kind of like stampede of, oncoming horses or anything like that, which might indicate to you that depending on where this was set up, where these Peace Watch were waiting, how long you've been here, how long this big black plume of smoke has been up in the air, if they were approaching, either they're doing it very carefully, they may already be within distance and are starting to move slowly. It's a little hard to tell exactly, you're just one person. But you get a sense that they could already be very, very close. Either creeping up on the area, being overly cautious. You probably get a sense they're being overly cautious of anything that might be in this area.
All right, so grab Cherry, and then Snow, once we're out, you can set up your tiny hut and we can hide out in that. Camouflages, right?
I mean, yeah, it'll look like on the outside. It'll look like everything around it.
Is Viola able to get Cherry ready to go?
We can't put
Give
the
me an
horse in
animal
there,
handling check.
Well, we can remove its saddle, and worst case scenario, it just looks like a wild horse.
18.
18? Whatever you're choosing to do with her, she is cooperating with you. She'll walk with you. She is a great big horse with a cart. The
We also
stealthiness
can't
of
put the
her.
cart.
Since
Hmm.
Viola's a ways off, like once she's got Cherry ready to go, she's gonna look back at you guys and start like, which way are we going? Point me in the right direction.
It's now or never.
Can
Well-
we
Right.
find an area that's close enough for Beau to maintain his link with his bat?
Yeah, it's
I don't know what
100
the
feet.
distance is for that.
100
Yeah,
feet.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So within 100 feet, can we find an area that's a little bit
Shrubbery and
out
tree.
of the way?
Sure.
You said rubbery.
I
No,
also
you
heard
want to
rubbery.
Shrubbery.
Like rubbery trees.
Quick, find that bendable
Rubber
tree.
trees are cool.
Yes, rubber, nature's camo.
So most of the area, once you go further into this clearing, it is relatively sparse with the trees. Within 100 feet of you, there are the temple ruins. There are the trees that leading up to here are relatively dense, but you'd be moving back in the direction you had come, so back towards the road.
Well, we could hide in the temple ruins. Ste'yn could
Let's
barely
check it
even
out.
get in there.
Cherry can't.
But if
Well-
they investigate it, they'll definitely find us.
That's true.
I definitely don't think we should head in the direction we came from. So maybe we
think-
start heading in the opposite direction.
I
and
think
see
we
what
head
come
towards the
across.
temple ruins and we can hide in the trees and shrubbery around there.
Here, I have an
Whatever we can
additional
find.
idea. I can open up a mind link with us. You guys can go farther out, and I'll just climb up and lay on top of the little chapel place. Ruins. I slept up there before. I can lie up there, and they won't see me.
That might work.
Hopefully you don't get stuck up there for very long.
Maybe
And-
slept up there.
With that perceptive Azamar self of yours, you think you might hear something starting by
Getting
the
closer.
road.
Okay,
Let's go.
Beau's gonna
As soon as we
quickly
picked
make
direction,
the mind
Viola
link.
started heading that way with Cherry.
Okay, now we have a mind link for 6 hours. Oh wait, I just realized I rolled the wrong one. I rolled a D8. He
Aw.
doesn't have a D8. Now we have one for 4 hours.
Hey!
Okay.
4 is good. 4 is good. Okay.
All right.
No, we'll
so-
set up the hut as well wherever we decided.
Is it all 4 of us now, or is it still only 3?
What do you mean 3?
Who's in this mind?
mind
Oh,
link
it's
is-
who's in the
just
mind mail?
Nora's not in it. It's just the 3 of us. Well, 4 of us.
Okay.
lady tier.
And then Beau will break off and just run up the ruins and lie on the roof of it.
Would you like to
So-
be invisible for that?
Well, I'm sure it's fine.
Okay.
Would make getting back easier.
Well, I didn't think about getting back, but it also only lasts for an hour. The ruins
Do you
were
need something?
like pretty high up, so if he just
would
lies
be
down,
height,
he's small
yeah.
enough that lying down, there should be nothing.
Cover up that orange hair.
Yeah.
Stick out like a
Hood
sore
up.
thumb.
And he'll move Claude to close to like the fire and stuff like that. So he'll get on top of there, lie down, and then just switch so so he cannot hear and he cannot see
Okay.
because he's seeing through the bat and hearing through the bat.
Beau, give
So
me
you left
a
before the hut was cast, correct?
give me a stealth check, please. And you can roll it with advantage.
Technically, they aren't that great, but it's an 8 plus, well, 9. So I guess it's still pretty good. 17, or it could be an 18 with psionic.
Go ahead and mark your die.
Right.
And then the other 4, you guys are hiding out just further into the clearing. So was there any other physical attempt as far as stealthing, or it was just because the tiny hut has that bit of camouflage?
I mean, I think we're being as stealthy as we can with it too, not just relying on the hut.
And Viola tried to put Cherry like off a little bit further away behind some bushes or something, so she's not right next to the tiny hut.
Okay. And you're ritually casting it, or you just cast it?
That depends on if Ste'yn tells him that he needs to do it faster or not.
Do I
'Cause
think
he
we have
will
11
definitely
minutes?
do it ritually.
Give me one more perception check, Ste'yn.
Okay, we're going to use guidance this time to boost it up.
Okay. She's like, I don't trust another 20 to just pop up.
No, good thing too. Let's see, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. You hear another sound coming from the direction of the path. You don't suspect you necessarily have a full 10 minutes or 11 minutes.
They will tell Snow, probably need to do it faster if you can.
I'd rather not, but okay.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'll
Single
spend the spell
snow
slot.
tier. You cast the tiny hut around yourself, Ste'yn, Viola, and Nora. Beau, quickly and quietly in his Beau fashion, goes up the wall of the ruins, which are, I think, within 60 or 70 feet even, at their furthest, from the hovel. You have to be within 100 feet of Claude, Beau.
Correct.
You're on
Whenever they
the...
sit down in the hut too, Viola will unbraid her hair and ask Snow to braid it again for her to keep him occupied so he doesn't get bored.
Please take an inspiration for that.
Yes.
Very thoughtful.
And
I
very
love
smart.
that.
Very smart.
Ste'yn is sitting or standing right inside the hut at the edge, like watching and listening as much as she can. Probably can't see much, but she's keeping eyes out.
Yeah, between the smoke and kind of where you'd have to maneuver the hut to be, there's a whole chunk, a whole swath
Yeah.
of area you can't quite see.
How
And then
far
Beau-
away are we from Beau? Since originally we were like 90 or 100 feet, but that was because of Beau.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. We have a mile with the mind link, so that's why I
Yeah.
set it up. It's up to how far you feel like you could walk before you would be in danger.
It probably didn't go a whole lot further, rather setting up and being quiet as soon as we could, instead of making more noise and getting further away.
And then Beau scurries up the wall of the ruined temple, makes himself a nice little niche, and starts to casts for his familiar, or pulls him out of the pocket dimension, and lets him fly.
Yeah.
It is shortly after you let Claude spread his wings and be free, and you begin looking and hearing through his senses that he can see a small group. They very much appear to be in the cloaks and armor of the Peace Watch that you've seen. They also appear quite well armed. One of them in this group, there's 6 of them there. One of them in this group does not appear to be very well armed. He's walking forward. All of them have this, they have this demeanor about them kind of stiff-shouldered, heads looking about very purposefully, eyes narrowed, heads tilted to listen as they're taking in the scene while they approach. And one is walking forward. He's not using this staff so much to walk as more as if just to have by his side. Perhaps it is his weapon of choice. He's not as heavily armored as the others around him. They don't seem phased per se by the burning hovel, but they just seem to take it in along with everything else they are looking at. Some of them, there's one man up ahead of the group. He appears to be leading this little group of men. He starts to direct them to move in any given direction. They split off without another word and start looking around.
Are they saying anything of interest?
At the moment, no. At the moment, they don't seem to be speaking. Whatever tactics, whatever understanding they have among them, they seem to be a really well-organized group.
No, are any of them coming in the direction of the ruins? I might have missed that if you did say that, and I'm sorry.
Not yet, not specifically.
Okay.
3 are heading immediately towards the hovel.
Makes sense.
2 are heading up and like just out of your view because they're on the other side of the ruins, but they still seem to be amongst those scattered trees. They start looking around. They seem to be doing a very thorough investigation. You see the man who is less armored going towards the hovel. Through Claude, you can just see him casting some type of magic and water appearing, putting out parts of the flame.
Also, just for your benefit, so a familiar does present as either Celestial, Fae, or Fiend. It's my choice. I'm choosing Celestial because it's Beau's favorite blood. So just bear that in mind, because I don't know the actions that they're doing, but just so you're aware, if they do something that would notify them of that, the bat does not register as a beast.
Okay. So Claude is a Celestial now.
Correct. Claude's a Celestial bat.
He's a Celestial bat.
Does Beau recognize any of the people he's seeing?
Yeah, giving them names.
Is he
Quick,
giving
come
us
up with
a
names.
play-by-play?
Huh?
Is Beau giving us a play-by-play? Like, is he just telling us everything he sees, or is he gonna wait until we ask?
So it's an action to see through Claude, but it's not an action to communicate with the mind link. So I can communicate.
If you are trying to see what's going on from the hut, give me a perception check.
So did Beau decide? Is he giving us a play-by-play?
Yeah, he'd be saying things of interest. Like if he's not interested in something, that he's not going to be saying it. But you at least know that there's people out there that are armed and they're spreading out. So he said the directions they're spreading out in.
Gotcha.
But so far he hasn't heard
How
anything.
many of them there are?
Yeah.
Perception check is a dirty 30.
What does a dirty 30 mean?
It means it wasn't a natural 20. It means it's a natural 20 is a 30 for her with her plus 10, but this one was a 17 plus 3 from guidance plus 10 for a dirty 30.
Oh, a dirty 30. Good grief.
Did anyone else roll perception?
Wait, are we all rolling
Viola's
perception?
probably
No,
not
got it.
been
No.
able
Oh, okay,
for-
that's right.
from the hut. A
That's what I
7?
Yeah, do you like that one better? Sorry, a 6.
Viola, did you roll for that one?
I mean, she can. Why not?
Yeah, it's up to you. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody.
10. When Ste'yn rolls a 30, is there any point in any of us trying?
Yeah, but technically,
Yeah, because then you can all see
you
it
don't
instead of
know
just
that they
saying.
roll a 30.
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
depends on
recommend
what your
that.
character's doing.
Just
Yeah, I
wait
guess it
till
would
she
just
takes
depend
the
on-
dirty.
Snow looks over and then just goes back to braiding it.
Snow doesn't even stop braiding while he's looking. That skilled. Ste'yn, you can see as someone starts to come around between the hovel and the temple ruins. You can see someone coming through where the trees have become much more sparse, much clearer in that area. And this person has a bow and arrow. He has a bow on his back. And he's looking both up at the hovel, looking over towards the ruins, looking down at the ground. You see him stop a moment, kind of turns on his heel, and he's looking at one of the trees that is near to the hovel wall. He stares at it for a moment, and then he keeps walking.
Like towards it or
Along the
away?
side.
Oh.
Along the side of the hovel, the shorter end. Then he turns and starts going along what was previously the wall of the next long side. Again,
Did
in
we
this,
recognize him?
you don't recognize. Just seems to be
Where's
another
Canyon?
face. Where is
Okay.
Canyon? Oh, Canyon! You surprisingly don't see Canyon in this group of Beeswatch.
Maybe he's taking the day off for once.
Maybe he's back at work at the city.
Maybe he's dead.
This investigation continues. You're probably sitting there for a solid 20-25 minutes of just watching them. Eventually, some of them do go towards the ruins. They start walking around, looking through. One kind of kicks aside some of the fallen rubble and stone. They're looking under benches, looking about, now on the other side of the wall. They stop at the window that you guys had used to get in. Stop for a moment, peer very, very closely at it. And they are no more than 15, 20 feet from you now, Beau. They don't seem necessarily to find anything of interest. They make their way back out, and you see them group back up. They are standing kind of between the temple and the hovel.
And they still haven't said anything.
Not yet. Not while they were all separated. You do hear, Beau, through Claude, you hear them say something about the tree. The one who was kind of investigating had stopped, looked at the tree. You hear him say something along the lines of, yeah, it seems someone made a good little nook of that. And he points his head up towards that tree. Says someone's definitely been there. Question is, where are they now?
What tree is this?
There's a tree, well, there's numerous trees, but there's one that's relatively close to the wall of the hovel, the side that got blown out.
Yeah, I was trying
There's
to
a
think if there was a tree that any of us climbed, so I guess it's a
Let
separate
me see if I can.
factor.
So he seems to be indicating this closest tree that is rather tall, but there are some, it's got numerous branches. It's hard to see from where you are. It's pretty thick with its foliage still. But they seem to be indicating to that tree that's near the wall. They talk about some magic sense that they picked up. They mention that conjuration magic, summoning. They mention an alarm type spell. They have this brief conversation before they start moving towards the hovel again and finishing putting out those flames. By this point, it's more sopping wood than it is any more charring wood. You can see them poking about some more. They are taking their sweet time. How long does Claude stay around?
Till he dies, or if I release him.
Oh, he just gets to hang. Nice.
Yeah, like he's been around since he summoned him back when we were coming from Hazelford.
When they come back out, you see the head Peace Watch kind of haphazardly kind of tap the side of his head. Everyone just waits in silence for a moment. And then he nods to the others. All right, the second and the third should be here soon. They're finishing their investigation further out. Figure out what in the world is going on here. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Reeks. And then you watch them start to move back towards the path. They don't disappear all the way into the trees, but you see them start moving in that direction, and they seem to kind of stop just at the edge of your sight, Beau. But they don't seem to be further poking around in your immediate vicinity. What are you guys doing? Check in with y'all.
Boy, well, that was really boring. 40 minutes! And that's it! He's saying that to, I guess, I don't know, he'd probably be saying that to Ste'yn in the mind link. Alright, I'm gonna get Claude and, well, I don't know exactly where you guys are. How do we want to go about getting back?
Do we want to go back? Or do we want to wait and see what else happens here?
I wouldn't push our luck much further than this.
How does Nora know what we're saying?
Kidding, I'm not here. Bye.
Ste'yn will voice that to Beau, and then she was going to anyway whisper it to the group. But
No,
You know, if
Viola,
Snow has
after
to text
saying-
thoughts on Ste'yn, he could listen in on the whole conversation.
After Ste'yn tells us that Beau's like talking about being done, Viola would mind link to Beau and say, "Hey, you should have Claude check out that tree real quick and see if you can figure out what they're talking about with that tree."
They just mean somebody was in it. Probably climbed it for something?
you could see if there's anything left. Well, Ste'yn can't hear that actually. Never mind.
Okay,
Let's do.
Just pick it out, Beau.
See, I guess
Who
the
else
finger
was a
thing
mind
really
control?
does help.
This is why we do it.
Alright, I guess I'll have Claude take a look.
Thank you.
Is there anything of note that he could get with Claude and that tree?
If I needed an investigation check, would that be still your investigation?
It would be Claude's. It would just be my abilities if I cast magic through him.
Okay.
So for a
Um,
bat, it would be intelligence, which is oh no. His intelligence is a 2, so it's a -4.
Roll it. Let's go.
Okay, so I got an
Okay,
unnatural
listen here
1.
to the tree. An unnatural 1.
Claude starts heading towards the tree on your command. Bam! Smacks into the branches. You hear this low kind of as he's like scrabbling a little bit to catch himself before flying through the branches. It's a little bit noisy as he's battering about, and a couple of heads. I don't even try. I don't try. It just happens naturally. A couple of the heads of those Peace Watch turn, but they seem to suspect it's just birds in the trees.
Okay, from there he's gonna have Claude come back and he's gonna pocket him away.
And away he goes. They don't seem to be moving though.
I guess I'll have Beau start going back to them.
Ste'yn will describe where we are,
Yeah.
help him find the hut.
He knows the direction I walked in.
And wave it around.
Give me a stealth check as you head back down.
Okay, now if I describe the direction of how he's getting back down, could that improve my stances on the stealth check? Because I was gonna have him go. I was gonna have him go, basically crawl inside the temple, be down at the temple, go across, climb up the wall on the opposite end, climb over that, and then come back down, and then head off left. So I'm not really sure how much they would be able to see of him actually doing anything from that regards if they're all positioned southwards.
You can roll with advantage.
They could still potentially hear something.
I got a natural 20.
Ayo!
Nice.
Very nice.
They hear nothing.
Yeah, because that's a 29 stealth.
You pull these very tactical bow maneuvers, and you're used to slipping in and out of places unseen, unheard, and you're fairly confident as you make your way back or in the direction you saw the others go that the group of Peace Watchmen did not see you. They don't even seem to turn their heads in your direction as you go. They're able to generally lead you to where they are.
Ste'yn will stick her hand outside of the hut and wave in his direction.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
he
Having
still can't
friendship
go
with
in
that,
the
that's fun.
hut, so he'll just like be on the outside of it.
That's fine. Yeah, you guys have gathered back together. Beau has told you guys what he heard through Cloud. Time's ticking. What are you doing?
No one spoke to Snow for a very long time during any of that. So he was writing. Those in the hut would notice that he, after writing just like a small amount, he just crumpled up the paper and put it in his backpack.
Ste'yn will whisper so the whole group can hear at once. Are we going to try and leave? Find our way out of here without being seen? Nora, what do you suggest? You're our captain.
I had suggested we leave already. Sooner the better. And if they said more are coming this direction, then it might be more difficult, but we should go.
Then we'll go.
Here's a wild thought. Do you think we'll get more information if one of us did get arrested by them?
That depends on the
Probably
information you think
not.
you'd get.
We'd probably just get kicked out of the guardianship.
Well, worse things have happened.
I could do it.
What?
I could do it.
I Don't
We
know
don't
if that's
need any of us
why.
getting in any more trouble.
Oh, but where's the fun in that?
Wait, I've got an idea. They might know who it is that's coming to meet up with them. Maybe they're thinking about them. And then based off of what they're thinking, if Snow can get it into their minds, I can look like that person and then get information directly.
Only if it's just one person, though.
Well, if
They're
it's
waiting
like,
for 2 more companies.
well, if it's 2 people, I could just say the other person's using the bathroom and I'm ahead of them.
But what if it's like a half dozen, like this group?
I'm a scout.
Also, I have to be pretty close to read their minds. And they might not be thinking about it in those 60 seconds that I can do that.
I vote leave now.
We can start making our way, and if someone wants to tactically get arrested later, it wouldn't be too hard to run back to the group.
What does tactically get arrested mean?
It means getting arrested while meaning to.
Why would one choose to get arrested?
For tactics.
Because it could be fun.
Clearly grew up with
That
very
too.
different definitions of fun.
Yes, I don't think it would be fun.
I mean, I wouldn't stay arrested. I'd be arrested, learn something, and then leave.
I think that's kind of the point of getting arrested is that you can't just leave.
Yes, but I'm special.
Yeah, well, just because you turn invisible doesn't mean that you can escape ropes and shackles.
Shackles can be hard to get
You
out
would
of.
be surprised what I can do.
I'd rather you not be on the wrong side of the Peace Watch.
Well, then let's go.
Let's go then.
Well, how are we planning
Or
on getting
spoil the fun.
a horse and carriage without being seen?
That was my other question because I'm not super sneaky. I didn't know if we should all sneak out together because if I
Well-
get caught, I don't want to get all of us caught.
Well, I mean, in this scenario, you'd be driving the horse.
I know, but we have to still get to Cherry because Viola put Cherry like a little ways back.
Let's get to move on and just be as quiet as we can.
Yes.
If we
Worst
need to
case,
scatter, we scatter.
Ste'yn, if you see that they're catching on to us, just let me know and I can outrun them and lead them a different direction.
Oh, I thought you were going to leave us behind.
In a sense, I would still be doing that, but
We'll be fine.
Well, it depends on where you're running. You might be leaving us in front instead of behind.
well,
Could also try and charm our way out of it if needed. But
Worst case, you can get out. I have at least some amount of cloud.
I would hope so. You're our captain.
Yeah,
I would also hope so.
well,
But
of novices.
regardless,
Let's
we're
go.
not where we're meant to be. So
that's the best place to be. Let's go. Snow stands up and exits the hut. The hut drops.
All right, we start going to the horse.
okay,
Slowly, quietly.
all right.
Lovely.
Ste'yn will give Viola a little pat on the shoulder and give her guidance for any stealth check that she might need to do.
Please give me stealth checks.
So you
I
add a d4 to
also-
that.
Natural one.
Like to use my inspiration
Did you
now.
actually get one?
Do what?
I heard Josh say natural one. Is that actually what you got?
Yep. Yep.
All right, well, I got 26, if that helps.
The
Say
rest
I
of
got
y'all
an
just
11?
rolled really well.
11.
That's not really well.
8. Oh, 18.
Uh, 2. So a dirty 20.
Wait, did you do that with disadvantage?
No, I used my inspiration to
Oh,
give
that's
me
what you
a
said. Okay,
normal
cool,
straight
cool.
roll.
Nice.
And then I
Plus,
used Ste'yn's guidance as
yeah,
well.
plus
as well.
guidance. Okay, so we have a 26, a 20, an 11, and a natural 1.
And what did Nora get?
Oh yeah. You guys start making your way over towards Cherry, where Viola had her tied up by one of the trees, and there with your cart. Your at least Beau, and oddly enough, maybe because she's getting closer to the horse, kind of somewhere she's comfortable, Viola's feeling fairly confident. The other two less so. But Nora seems to be kind of egging everyone along, keep going, almost there. You guys get to the carriage.
Anyone
Yeah.
seem to have noticed us or be heading our way?
As far as you can just tell, just getting there, you don't seem to notice anything. You can give me a perception check if you'd like.
Start revving up the horse.
Rev her up!
That's a 26.
26.
We're gonna peel
Start
out
the
of this
cart.
place.
Whatever this second and third company that the first group was talking about is definitely on this side of the clearing.
Oh,
The
wow.
woods.
Good.
You don't think that they have caught on to you as of yet, but you might be concerned for time.
We see them, or she
How
just
long?
has a feeling? Like the Ste'yn see them, or
In the same way she, could hear approaching footsteps, twigs, leaves rustling. Sounds like
How
footsteps.
long were we waiting in the hut while Beau was watching?
at least 20 minutes passed at one point.
Yeah, I'd say overall, let's call it a solid hour.
So a short rest for Snow, because he was doing nothing.
Ste'yn will hurry people on a little bit. Maybe why she's not being quite as stealthy.
Okay.
Viola will ask Ste'yn quickly and say, is it more important that we leave quickly with Cherry or leave quietly and quickly with Cherry?
Quietly and quickly. We can't be lazy, but they are coming. And she'll point in whatever direction she heard them from. And say they're coming
Yeah.
from that way, and they'll be here soon.
So Viola's gonna try to get Cherry going as quickly and quietly as possible in whatever direction makes the most sense, that we're not headed back towards them or towards the incoming people.
Give me another animal handling check. As
An
you
extra
guys
pat on the
start to-
shoulder for some guidance.
You got this, kid.
Boom!
Hey!
Nat 20!
Nice.
It was almost a 2. It really wanted to roll on that 2, but it slowly fell in the correct direction.
Well timed. You ease Cherry along. She seems to understand the urgency coming from you. She starts to go, becomes a bit of a trot. It's clearer here. There are fewer trees. They don't seem to be dropping. It's not yet the time where they're dropping the dry leaves. There aren't a ton of branches on the ground here. It's a pretty clear shot. You guys kind of book it across from behind the hovel, where there's still just enough portion of that back wall that it seems to block the majority of you from that first group, and whatever group was on the way seems to have missed you. Ste'yn, when you look over your shoulder as you guys enter a thicker section of trees, and Viola needs to be a little more careful with how she's maneuvering Cherry. You look behind you and you can see now, coming through another area of trees, you see one small group of people not terribly far from where you guys just were, and you see a third group approaching in a very similar direction that you're heading now, just further off, as if they had taken this time to spread themselves out and look around further.
Oh,
But you
that's
seem to
wise of them. Inconvenient
miss
for us.
Now here's the question. Am I headed in any sort of correct direction?
Is that what you're asking us, or are you asking Brad?
I'm asking all y'all.
I'm not
Whoever
controlling the
wants
horse.
to navigate.
Um,
Although there have been promises of navigation in the past that were not upheld when Viola's been driving the horse.
No one deserves to go through what you went through.
right. Viola, how's that navigating going up there?
That's what I was just gonna ask, is how well Viola's able to get wherever she's supposed to be getting to with the directions that
Nora was going to
Nora
be giving her.
originally. I would assume that she originally gave her some sort of directions when we got started, but yeah.
Give me a survival check, and we'll see how well you remember the directions before your navigator was distracted.
That's a 5.
I'm not very well.
So she's used to figuring it
Yeah,
out. If
I
she
don't think-
needs to.
Because I know that
Distracted
Beau
your
has a
navigator.
couple of different maps, but I don't know if he has a map of this region.
She'll look to Nora too, because Nora would probably be the one that has the most knowledge of the region. And she's our captain.
You see her looking around. Are you asking specifically what direction to head in?
She's just gonna keep heading in the direction she's headed unless someone tells her to head in a different direction.
Oh, that's right. His map got destroyed when we were swimming. He only has the
Oh,
Raleigh
no!
district map.
Poor
That's the only
Jeremy!
map that he has.
We're just riding. Nora doesn't give an immediate answer as far as guiding.
Can I do a survival check or something to see if Viola
Yes.
does know?
Absolutely.
I have a feeling it's not going to be great. Oh, that rolled.
Would you like guidance?
I can't see it. 14.
Those ranger senses kicking in. While you don't know what you're heading towards per se, you know where the main road is, which does lead directly back to the city. Whether or not you want to start veering towards the main road, not knowing who else might be around, is up to you. But you have a general sense of the main road.
We say take the main road. I mean, at this point, we're not near the hovel, and if they talk to us, we could just talk our way out of it.
If we make a decent loop, sort of staying on the side of it for a bit and then working our way back, we might even bypass anything.
Do you know, Nora, how far away from the hovel they would have set the blockade?
It was... Oh, I don't know exactly, honestly. All he'd said was...
Was there an actual blockade, or was it just these 3 groups coming?
I didn't get further details than that. I was
It's
told there
probably
would
fine, then.
be people blocking the road.
Viola will use her best judgment then and try to go veer around off as much as she thinks she should to miss any potential blockade and head back to the main road eventually.
And she says that, to the best of her knowledge, what she understood that she was told when she was told someone would be there was that it would be before the kind of forest began, which is still going to be, which it's probably about halfway through. So like 3 miles along the main road, if you kind of split that journey in half. You guys are going a long ways around, but it'll take more time, but you can do that. Give me one more survival check. See how well you can kind of scope out the area. That's a
19.
Okay, I thought you rolled already. Spurred on, whether it's adrenaline or you're kind of getting your bearings among the trees, kind of reminding you of other times you've had to make do or you'd be in trouble. You are able to spur Cherry along, even through these trees. You have to slow down in some areas, make sure she's not tripping over any of larger roots going by, but you make your way through this forest long ways around until it starts to spread, starts to thin out. By the time you get out of most of the trees, you're not on the main road, but you do still have a sense of where it would be. You'd be able to start heading in that direction.
Yeah, that's what Viola will do.
And you feel a pat on your arm from the captain, just like a congratulatory. Like, that was very well done.
Thank you. And she'll sweep her braid over her shoulder.
Braid goes smack. You make your way back onto the main road, and you can see where it would veer either towards the Rally District or the Peace District. Nora still kind of seems a little out of breath, just for all that's happened, and she would request to get back. Sure, totally. With all the money she has on hand, definitely. She can pay you with more food. Breakfast was... Did you guys even eat before you did all this? Have you guys eaten yet today?
Yeah,
we ate
okay.
it.
Okay, because you have a habit of not eating also.
I'm sure it's past lunch now and we probably haven't eaten lunch.
Yeah.
So Nora, you wanted to go to the hovel. What do you think? Good trip?
Beautiful, beautiful vacation spot. That was a joke. Thank you.
No, Ste'yn, that wasn't very good.
I just don't understand. There's clearly something there. Something
Clearly.
was there. So what happened? What was supposed to be there? Nothing that you described was there.
No, but 3 traps were there. So that's wild. Wonder if someone knew we were going to be there.
If someone knew, if they were just protecting it in general. For whatever was there before. Maybe they expected to come back.
What was the reason for the blockade? Do you not tell you? Is this
I
your
suppose he
guys'
took-
pillow talk? Is blockades and all that?
He's a captain after all. That's all he
Oh.
thinks about. That was another joke.
The 2 of you should take a vacation or something, you know?
Maybe the
Rekindle
hovel.
the spot. Maybe not the hovel.
Maybe not the hovel. We're both rather busy. I don't think there's time. Although I will say it was nice to have some time outside of the city. I don't think I've had any since I first started here. So this was actually, oddly, at least last night was at least peaceful.
Why don't you ever leave? That sounds awful.
Although this is the second time you've now left.
If it's on duty, it's one thing. To just be outside, that's very different. I haven't left because I've been working. Very busy. Novices keep you busy. And they're not even all like you
Dreadful.
four.
No one's like us four.
Maybe it's all those bereavements you insist on everyone giving you. Or debriefings, that's what they're called.
Bereavement.
Very different.
Of all the words to mix up, you mixed up those.
That was me that
No.
mixed them up.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Spot
man.
on. The debriefs are important. It's important to keep to understand what the novices are doing, what they learn from their assignments. Yours have been rather unusual, but all the same. And it keeps communication open.
Yeah, because the guardianship's so
What
good at communication.
I was gonna say.
Someone
It
has to
does
improve
seem
it.
there's something to be desired there.
I would agree. That's one of the reasons I was hired.
So is it not known that Ziva's missing right now?
It's hard to say.
Did Elikin mention her? Before,
He did.
after the blockade talk?
He doesn't mention much.
Sure. And you said you don't know who else was in the group with him and Ziva, right?
Right.
They were together in a group, they went to the hovel. All that happened. So, he at the very least knows, and anyone else who was in his group knows. Do you know how many people would be in that group? Is there like a standard?
Not precise, but I imagine it wasn't many. Not if it was something to be done quietly,
So
or
like 5 or
just-
6.
or potentially less than that.
Alright. And
Small
who
group.
would know who was in the group?
The captain would know. I suppose if I asked, there'd be no reason not to say. Although I don't see him often. Also very busy.
And he's the captain of the guard, yes?
Mhm.
And they've passed this off to the Peace Watch? Watch? Not wash.
If it's a matter of just protection, if it's a matter of just safety for the city at large, they're not letting anyone go through, then yes, that becomes more of a city matter, more municipal than specifically the guardianship. It
But
is.
Beau said it was the Peace Watch investigating the area, right? I mean, maybe they were just like setting up a perimeter of sorts, making sure the area was safe, but it doesn't make sense why they'd be investigating things. And we've had some run-ins with the Peace Watch in the past, not doing things that they're supposed to.
I don't know how suspicious you want to be, but I imagine they were just investigating because suddenly there was a large fire. I don't know that they know anything truly bad was happening there. But if their job is to make sure no one's gone past and then suddenly there's flames and a house on fire, then they have reason to investigate.
Who's in charge of the Peace Watch?
That would be Lord Anvil. It's in your handbooks.
Oh, but that's not one of the
I lost my handbook.
ranks. I
That's
still
such a
mine.
pity.
Terrible.
You can borrow mine.
Really?
Terrible.
I don't know if it's in my bag or not, though. I'm not sure where I put it. But is because the ranks are just novice, warden, guard, purger, right? So, like, where does Peace Watch fall in all of that? How intertwined into Gratimano is it?
Are you asking Nora or are you asking me?
I'm asking Nora.
She explains a guardianship is sort of divided. It starts as a standard city, the way any city grows and develops. When a city petitions to become a guardianship, which any of them can, they are seeking to kind of change and elevate their status. So if they get accepted, what it essentially becomes is more like a military outpost. So you have citizen residents in the city now who have been there, come and go, it's fine. And then you have guardian residents who are following the track of a guardianship. Not every guardian resident chooses to stay as part of the guardianship, and oftentimes if they don't, they stay in the city, which they've already come to know, and become citizen residents. So the boundaries can be a little wavy
And the peace,
around certain things.
if I recall, the Peace Watch essentially is what the city guard was, so it's more connected to the city, whereas the other
Correct.
things are more connected to the fact that it's militaristic now and
Correct.
guardianship. So that, I feel like, was the divide that you mentioned one point.
Yes. That's essentially where they kind of coexist, which would be a good word Nora would use. They coexist, sometimes peacefully and sometimes not.
I'm not super fond of this Peace Watch. I feel like potentially there's maybe something a little fishy going on with them. I don't know.
I mean, the only
I mean,
bad
one of them was
run-in we
possessed.
had was,
What?
well, that group, which I don't think
Oh.
was the actual Peace Watch. They were
No, but if they've been
stealing
infiltrated.
uniforms.
But what if they were, and then being possessed caused them to switch?
We
But
could
then
go
they
see what
wouldn't need
happened
to
that one.
steal uniforms.
How do we know the uniforms were stolen?
Because I was witness to it.
You saw them steal the uniforms?
Saw them attempt to steal canyons.
Canyon?
That wasn't the same
Everyone
group.
loves Canyon.
That was the same group.
That was the exact same people.
Okay.
that they
Yeah.
fought in the temple.
Yeah, that's why Beau was suspicious of them when they came back to the temple. It's because they
Oh,
were
and
stealing
he
the guard
saw
uniforms.
All of them there?
No,
or
but
just some-
he
there
knows
was
that they were
some-
stealing uniforms, and that's why he was just like, we can't trust them. People were stealing
Canyon.
uniforms.
Canyon specifically said that they tried to mug him and take his uniform. That's when Beau found him bloodied up and the guy was attacking him.
And that's how Beau's got 2 Peace Watch badges.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you should be
What-
suspicious of the Peace Watch themselves. They are hardworking men and women.
Here's the question. What are we
Yeah, so
telling
is
people
everyone.
when we get back? Or more specifically, what are you
Nothing.
telling people, Nora?
I didn't think about that.
We don't need to tell anyone anything.
I didn't think I was going to tell anyone anything except
If we're
Captain.
asked, I'm not a good liar.
It's fine.
Good to know.
Well, then don't say anything. We don't have to say anything.
No one technically knows we're here.
But if we are asked something many times and get in trouble, we need to have the same story.
By who? This is our captain.
I know, but there's people higher than her.
They don't walk around interrogating us. It's fine.
She was just scared of the Peace Watch.
I was
I
concerned
think
We were
about the
just
Peace
talking
Watch.
about getting arrested from people.
No. I was concerned about the Peace Watch while we were on the wrong side of their blockade. If we're on this side, this is where we're supposed to be. I can say any
Oh.
reason why you'd be with me. I could
So we
write
can just
a
say
reason
that
right
we went
now.
out for a ride. Okay, well that's what I'm saying. Let's have a reason just in case, because I don't want to have to make something up on the spot, because if I do, it's not going to be very good and they're going to be able to see straight through it.
I have a wonder.
Don't say anything regardless, Viola.
I know, but I need to have something to say just in case.
How about this? If you get questioned, it turns out you're mute and can't talk.
I don't think that'll last long.
No, it won't. I don't want a repeat of the fart cloud.
Anyway, while you consider lying, what if we use Ziva's mishap as an opportunity? We can, if it's not public knowledge she's gone, we can have her appear in the Peace Watch. People might find it suspicious if they did know she's supposed to be gone. Might ruffle some feathers.
At least some people. Never mind.
What?
What?
Now's not the time to be withholding, Nora.
No. Elikin might have mentioned something that she'd been... It was so brief. He'd mentioned her name. Something odd, but nothing beyond that. So maybe he doesn't know that she's actually missing or gone.
Oh, I think he probably knows.
He mentioned her name.
It was a rather dramatic
or a
state.
name.
Her name.
I thought you guys were like best friends. Then her name gets mentioned and you just forget it?
No, how he mentioned it. It was so brief. And he was in such a hurry.
Well, I assume if he said, oh, by the way, she's dead, you would have noticed.
He didn't, Beau.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not walking around saying, oh, she's dead.
Fine, then he's not walking around saying she's dead.
So the only people who know that she's dead are the five of us.
And Cherry.
There's the five of us. Cherry doesn't count. Cherry doesn't comprehend death. And your husband and whoever was with Ziva and your husband.
And whoever killed her.
Well, we assume her husband knows. It seems he didn't exactly say. What if I looked like Ziva and talked with your husband?
I don't love that idea.
I love that idea.
What if you stayed far away from Captain Elikin and
I assure
didn't
you, at some
disrespect
point...
by attempting a personification?
I'm sorry, is it disrespecting her to find who killed her?
I thought...
What?
Pretty valid.
No, I shouldn't
On
say
a,
tact
wait,
as
on a
anything
different
wrong.
note, I just had a thought. What did you guys find in the basement? Because I didn't know what you guys were doing in the basement.
It was a teleportation circle.
To
What?
Bullfrog Pond, or whatever it's called.
Bull Swamp?
Swamp.
Why?
Well, that would be really nice if we knew that. Speaking of which, did those of you who knew Ziva, was she a spellcaster?
No,
Could she
I don't.
cast
She was
That's
able to
what-
cast from the. She was able to cast from the scroll to put the alarm up.
Right.
But she said something about how she wished she could do stuff like that all the time, and she couldn't. I think, if
Well,
I'm
Okay,
This
remembering.
is
she
more
can.
mechanics than simple arcane prowess.
I mean, she was hanging out.
Nora,
in the
what about your
artificer
husband?
place.
What about
he?
him?
Could he have cast that? Does he have that capability?
No, not precisely.
So he
I
is
mean,
an
it's
amateur
either
caster.
yes or no. What does that mean?
No, he's not a caster.
Well, see, that's what actually
He's
makes
dead.
this a little bit easier. If he can't do magic, it'll be a little bit harder to see through a magical disguise as long as he doesn't touch me. And
He can't naturally use magic, but being the captain of the guard, he has means. So do I.
like patron means.
No.
Not everyone's a warlock, though.
So
Like items, yes. They're not going to
Okay,
send
so
someone
you've got-
like him the places that he goes.
Where
unprepared.
is this vault of magical items that you guys stumble across?
Nowhere you need to know about.
All right, why don't? I think we've gotten somewhere. I think we're doing good. But I don't know if this particular line of questioning is going to bear much fruit. Possibly getting information about
who-
Ziva could be helpful, but I don't know if impersonating her until we know more about how far word has spread would truly be helpful. Nor do I think it would necessarily be disrespecting her to try and find out how it is she
well,
was killed.
Well, yeah, if it's like
Time is of
everybody,
the
if it's the talk
essence
of the
with that.
town that she's dead, then impersonating her doesn't help.
We could see if any of her friends know.
I
There's
do
that
have
group.
to return stuff to Gary.
Well, do you?
I mean, I have to look for
Very smart
Ziva
of him.
anyways to return stuff, so I can go to the college and ask about her. That's where all of her friends are. If any of them know, they'll probably know. Or if anyone's going to know,
That's a good
someone
idea.
there might know.
I could go with you.
And then if they don't know, then maybe we consider the plan of
What?
impersonating her for information.
What was
But if
that?
they know, it's likely many other people know.
Viola? Is
Hmm?
there something you want to say to me?
And I don't know who you're just talking about. Viola's looking at the front of the car at Cherry. You can't see her face.
Nora, did you tell Vaughn to come make sure we went to you as soon as possible that morning that we left?
Well, actually, he told us the night we got back.
Practically waiting for us at the temple.
Yeah.
No more than to debrief, certainly.
But you
did
did
you get
tell
back?
him.
So you did tell him to wait for us and make sure we knew to come to you as soon as possible.
When Captain Ellican returned and said that he hadn't found anything, I did not like that answer. And I did want you to come as soon as you had returned. Could use debrief as an excuse, certainly, but I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to go out there, and maybe some small
you
sensible
told
part of
Vaughn.
me. Yes, to find you. Or at least when he saw
And
you.
Canyon
Not
as
necessarily
well,
fine.
because Saz knew from Canyon to have a horse ready for us.
I suppose Vaughn was being extra prepared. He can do that.
Well, good for him.
Good for him indeed. And at this point,
Well-
while you guys have been talking, Nora is kind of fidgeting with Ziva's little bracelet, the little metal medallion that was on her bracelet. And as she's kind of spinning it in her hands, every now and then you can see that spot where it is cracked. Almost like this pie-shaped crack in the side of it before it keeps spinning.
Nora, may I take a look at that?
Sure.
Oh, I never identified it.
She
No.
hands it over to you.
Did we
No,
ever
you
get
didn't.
confirmation that it was magical?
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't think we did.
But Ste'yn's gonna first look at it for any religious symbolism or possible connections to a deity or something.
And it's got a crack
Just
in it, you
investigate
said?
it.
You're looking
No.
for our religious symbols on it.
While
Mhm.
she's looking around it, can Beau
Give me a
also be
religion check.
doing mend on it to fix the crack?
Sure.
Alright, cool.
That is a 22.
Like anything you recognize as a specific kind of deity or symbol. It looks relatively plain. It's got like a light kind of etching that's a little hard to see on it at this point, but as if maybe it had been worn down somehow, maybe. But it does look somehow familiar. Something about the way some of the kind of little pinhole spots along part of it that isn't entirely worn away is a little familiar for a moment, or very familiar for a moment, almost like deja vu. Almost especially when Beau, as you're looking at it, touches it and mends it, and now it's a complete, a full little medallion with more kind of filled in, more of these little pinpricks in it.
Does it seem like what Jeremy had been describing that he lost, that little medallion?
I think
Give that
this
kind of a vibe.
I thought his was a coin.
Coin medallion. I think it was about the size of a coin, but I have to go check
Yeah,
through
like
my notes to find out.
Like a half inch.
Yeah, I have it noted as a
large
large iron coin.
coin shaped. It's not like a spending coin.
Well, yeah, he hasn't tried buying anything with it.
Does Ste'yn have any idea where
So-
this seems familiar from?
Oh.
Or is that it?
Oh, I thought you were asking because this was Ste'yn putting pieces together. But regardless, sure, yeah. Beau, give me a charisma saving throw.
Alright. Can I just use that persuasion one that I had there?
Nope.
That is... It was charisma?
Charisma saving throw, please.
7.
Cool. Thank you.
Ste'yn will
So
offer
what
it over
about
to
the
Ste'yn.
bracelet reminded her of the medallion?
What it seems.
How it was described
No,
with
what-
the
Like a symbol on it? Or a bracelet doesn't look like a bracelet, but it looks like a medallion? I'm confused.
No, so it's a medallion on a cord.
On the
of some
bracelet.
kind. Yes.
Okay.
The pendant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what also
Gotcha.
was confusing me a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pendant
Okay.
on a cord that was on her wrist, and then Beau mended it. Nora actually thanks you, Beau, for fixing it.
You're welcome. Now, care to introduce me to your husband?
No,
We can compare notes. We have
that
an
sounds like a
actual
terrible
reason
idea.
to talk to him.
I can speak to him.
You weren't there when we actually had things happen. Well, the
Also, he
correct
doesn't
things
like to talk to
happen.
you, apparently.
Ouch.
act is not his. I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Wait, I did.
Practice
Pact
thin in
is
this group.
sometimes.
Sometimes, but not now.
Sorry.
Understood. That's all right. I'm sure if it's important enough, I can
I mean, he is a public figure. I could just find him in the streets.
Not likely. Oh, perhaps, I suppose. Not in the Peace District, likely.
Well, I'd just jot on over to the Rally District.
I was gonna say, clearly we know how to make it to the Rally District at this point.
You still ought to have a reason, but...
I do.
A reason given to you by your captain, who has not given you one. I really don't recommend you confront him.
Won't be confronting.
I feel like every time you open your mouth, it becomes definition of confrontation, Beau.
That's pretty valid.
Depends.
Thank you. Depends. Now you're back to your
Ste'yn's
open
gonna
book.
pass the bracelet to Snow, by the way, in case he wants to take a further look at it.
Anyway, we shouldn't be out here for too much longer. If we...
I think we're going.
Yeah, I don't think we
I
pulled
mean-
over to have a talk.
No.
Stop the
Does
car.
Viola know how long it'll be before they make it back?
Well, I was going to say, are you... she would be heading back to her home, but would probably suggest you make your way back to the Peace District. Between festivity setup is bound to begin, and you'll certainly want to be part of that, and she will have to figure out what to say to her, to the captain.
Viola probably would have been headed back to wherever they left from, but I don't remember if
They
they
left from the Peace District.
From the Peace
Okay, that's what I thought.
Either
So
way is
unless
fine.
they go right by the Rally District, Viola probably wouldn't drop her off by home.
She can make her
Now
way
he's
back.
gonna cast Identify on the bracelet ritually, just in case there's anything there to learn. Anyone paying attention while he's doing that might notice that he isn't humming or singing anything like he normally does, but he seems to be reciting something under his breath.
Try to hear what he's reciting.
What languages do you know?
Ooh.
Abyssal, Celestial, Common, and Elvish.
And
You don't
Dwarvish and
understand the words
Goblin.
he's saying. It is Draconic.
Okay. You're identifying, and you guys are making your way back to the Peace District then? I will say you guys make your way.
There's one thing I had on my list.
Uh-huh.
I want to try and remember what Ziva was saying, mouthing, before she went down.
Roll an intelligence with disadvantage.
18.
I will message you. Snow, you are identifying this pendant, medallion that was on the end of Ziva's bracelet, her cord. The metal itself doesn't tell you anything, but something about it, something in it maybe, something you can't, you're not seeing it directly, but something about it gives you a very familiar sense of, remember when you were holding that object, that the outside of it had that abjuration coating on it, protecting what was inside.
Oh, the rubies?
Viscous, gross red inside. Yeah, that's what comes to mind. That same kind of protective magic. It's not a whole complicated spell magical item until I properly write out a homebrew for it, but until then, that's what you get from this. It seems to be a container, something holding whatever that is inside. But it's now mended, mind you.
So presumably there's nothing inside of it.
No, not presumably at all.
Okie dokie.
If I understand mending correctly, it mended the metal.
Yeah, it doesn't restore magic to a magical item.
Also doesn't.
Yeah, it
Take
can't like
magic away.
recharge it if it had
Yeah.
charges or something
Mhm.
like that. It
Yeah.
can't put it back.
Yeah, the metal appears to be a house for whatever that abjuration magic is inside. Give me an intelligence history.
So is for my own sake of being able to picture this, is this like a thick something? Like before it was cracked, did it look like you could have something inside of it, like the rubies did? Or
Give me an intelligence. It doesn't look like a big fat thing. It looks like a little medallion, I guess.
Okay.
No, that's too thin.
So you said history?
Mm-hmm.
21.
You remember when you saw it first on Ziva, where it was cracked, you remember seeing a line of blood on her arm. From the size of it, whatever would be inside couldn't be terribly big, but could still fit some thin something. And it wasn't a ton of blood that was on her arm. It was a small line.
Drops.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a symbol on the medallion or anything, or is it just smooth metal?
So it looks like maybe it's kind of worn down, like maybe it's been touched a lot, but it's not a fancy design, but it's simple, but it's very pretty, very aesthetically pleasing, fashionable even.
There's no like symbols of something. It's just a little design.
Yeah, just a little design. Pretty though. I think you'd make note of it. It makes her a nice bracelet.
Snow will put it on. No.
How do I look? Oh, I have to kill you now. You make your way up to the district, and there are the occasional carts going in and out. A lot of them seem to be, the ones that pass you seem to have boxes. Any that are open seem to have colorful, whether it's paper or displays, flags. They seem very celebratory as people are passing by you. You get in without too much attention on you. Some people look towards the captain and wave or smile and nod. You're able to have some attendants come to help with Cherry, put her up. Among those, Ste'yn is kind of hovering near the coach house, doing his work, not necessarily purposely making eye contact with you or with anyone.
Viola
What do you
says
guys-
hello to Saz and then goes to check on Buttercup.
He nods in your direction, and actually, as you're making your way in, he does tell you she's on her way for some training, but I made sure that she had some carrots ready. She seems to be particularly partial to these small carrots that were grown out in the fields, and he shows you one, and it's like a pygmy looking carrot. Like they kind of just got stunted in their growth, but she seems to like them a lot, and he'll offer it to you so you know what it is and can maybe ask for more for her or something.
Viola will take it from him and she'll say, "Thank you so much, Ste'yn. You know, it really makes my heart so happy that you're taking such good care of Buttercup. I would give you a hug, but I think you wouldn't enjoy it a lot, so I won't. Unless you want me to, I'd be happy to give you a hug."
He like takes an extended moment because he doesn't know how to respond. To the point where it almost, he doesn't seem like he's going to respond. It's more like a shrug kind of thing.
Well, hey, if you're not telling me no, Viola will give him a hug.
He has brittle bone syndrome. Snaps.
She just like gives him a quick hug, pats
Butterfly.
him on the back a couple times, and then she'll let go and tell him to have a wonderful day and move along, unless he says anything else.
He just nods and also wishes you a good day. His arms never reached around you. They were just at his side.
Hugged by full plate armor.
Give me a perception check, Viola. See if
That
it
is a 10.
Worse than our passive.
Yeah, that is
Her
true.
passive just got downgraded to a 10.
Yeah, that's 5 less than my passive.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Your passive perception is a 15? Oh, it is.
Yeah, she's got a +5 in perception somehow.
Wow.
You wouldn't know it, but she does.
I need to remember your passives and not just remember that Ste'yn has a 20. 15 is very good. I'll let you have that. When you went to hug him, he didn't fight it or anything like that. But you did note that he seemed to adjust himself a little bit, like his head, because that cloak is constantly over his head all the way down like towards his eyes. He did seem to kind of maneuver in such a way as if to avoid his cloak from coming up.
Noted.
Yes. And then you go about your way.
Did you say
Nora,
what time of day it
oh,
is?
sorry.
I'm sorry, I might have missed it.
No, at this point it's afternoon, certainly. Say it's a little afternoon, like 1. Yeah. Nora is prepared to make her way back to the rally district. She implores you to not confront Captain Elikin Asalin.
Don't worry, I won't.
She looks to you, Ste'yn. Please see sense.
I do see sense. Don't worry.
By the way, Nora, how long has Vaughn been your bodyguard? Just out of curiosity.
Bodyguard?
Well, why is he your bodyguard? Also,
One question at a time.
well, she seems to be in
How is he
denial
your
over this.
bodyguard?
When is he all the time?
Where?
She just shakes her head. He's not my bodyguard.
Try
He
telling
assists
him
me.
that.
Were you guys best friends?
Your assistant, then, whatever that is, it's more than normal. You had orders from your husband. How long? How long's that been a thing?
Why would you say he had orders?
Because he did. You didn't notice how he's like always hanging around you a lot and like helping you?
No, that's not my question. Why would you say he has orders?
Well, that was the impression I got.
Give me a deception or persuasion.
It's true, it is.
That's
Alright.
fair.
I mean, Snow was around when he said I have conflicting orders back whenever that was.
Mhm.
Back in the first chicken zone.
And Snow straight up asked him and read his thoughts and
Read
saw
his
that
thoughts.
the answer was elegant.
Right. Okay.
16.
She looks at you, both a little confused and almost fronted, very adamantly. He is not assigned to be my bodyguard. He is
Assistant, whatever word you want to put in there. Secretary?
no. He started when I did, and he is an old friend of Captain Elegance. So it should only
Well,
make
probably
sense
why he
to
asked him to then. But when did that happen?
when did
Just
we be-
always? He's just always been assigned to you?
He's always been one of the novice emissaries.
So, since the guardianship,
Yes. Perfect answer. There
you're
you are.
welcome. Look at me helping you.
I so
I don't know how
appreciate
long
it,
that is,
though.
but okay.
But
Forever.
it's
that
relatively newer, isn't it? Guardianship?
The guardianship itself, or how long she's
Yeah,
been here?
this one, it's relatively newer, right? It's only been.
It's been here a while.
Oh.
They've had different times where they've recruited new members into the guardianship. You know, the militaristic side, the guardian residence. You've caught one of those, but the guardianship itself has been here for a while. Beau, give me an intelligence history check. You can roll with advantage too. I feel like that's something that he'd pay attention to.
I could only get higher from here. Oh, it's a nat 20 now. I rolled an 18 the first time.
Yay! Grafty Minot is a long-established city in and of itself. It petitioned for its guardianship a while back, and maybe you wouldn't care at that point, but you would have learned easily that it received the honor about 75 years ago. And with a nat 20, I'd also say that by that point, you learned they had been petitioning for quite a while. This was something they really wanted. The people were very gung-ho in the city about it. And they got it. It seemed like a very fast movement of acceptance shortly after the incident at Gen that began moving. Probably the quickest that it's ever happened.
So if it's been since you've been working here, when did you start working here?
Just a little over a year ago.
Okay, so for the last year.
Sure.
Well, that's not as long as I thought at all. How long has your husband been friends with him? Did they already know each other when you met him?
Yes.
Does that mean you've only been married for a year?
Yeah, about.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. You can see there's been little time to celebrate. We've been busy.
With how busy you are, how'd you even meet?
Hey, we already learned that. We heard
She
that
just
story.
told us that last
But
night.
it was in the hut, so you might have forgotten.
That's right. Also, Beau, give me a charisma saving throw.
That is a 18.
Fantastic. As you catch yourself saying, well, where did you meet? And your memory returns to you. Or you kind of pop back.
So he doesn't remember telling her we won't confront Elikin.
Nope.
Doesn't even matter.
so
Doesn't
much,
even
and
matter
I
if that
hate
was the
you
truth
so
or a
much.
lie. Hey, this is your curse that you put on him.
Did you have a honeymoon or anything? Or did you get married and then he just went off on his assignments and you've been doing your work? Because that sounds dreadful.
Oh, are we still talking about her
Really?
marriage? When did we get
Yeah.
here?
What?
Wait,
The topic of conversation.
Well, sounds
Yes.
boring.
I like to
How
ask.
did
I like to ask people about their love lives, Beau.
Or lack thereof.
So did you go on a honeymoon? Was it to the hovel?
Maybe it was just a bull swamp.
Yeah, they took the teleportation circle straight over there.
Heard
No,
it's a
there wasn't
great
much
place.
time for much at all, honestly. But I need to get back to the rally district.
Right, we won't keep you from your empty house. It's fine.
So gracious.
Oh.
Thank you. If you need anything else, you obviously know where to find me. But I feel much better than I did, so I should be back here in the Peace District very soon. So no need to go over to the Rally District at all. She looks back at you, Ste'yn.
I know sense.
I know you do. Thank you for all of this. Really. For joining me. I'm sure I would have done something incredibly stupid if I had gone out there by myself. So thank you.
You're
Yeah, probably would've
welcome.
been really bad.
All right.
We will do what our captain asks. It was a pleasure.
You
You
for
know,
something
depending on
else.
what you ask.
I think I made it fairly clear what I asked.
Yes, we escorted you around. Oh, actually, well,
It was fun.
yeah.
Fun is one word for it, I suppose. We'll figure out what it is, whatever is out there. If you find out more, and if there's anything I can help, I plan on doing a fair bit of research. See if there's some
Keep
places
you
I can get
updated if
access
you keep
to.
us updated.
That sounds like a perfect plan. And maybe not
I would al-
shouting this from the rooftops. I don't want anyone in a panic over potentially nothing.
It's okay. The rooftops are so high. Who's
I
gonna
was-
go up
I was
there?
going to say, probably don't fill in anyone about this, including your husband.
It's not like they communicate anyway. It's fine.
Beau!
Rude.
Sam reaches over and just slaps his shoulder. He's done enough.
Only the shoulder? She's really holding herself back.
I mean, she's already slapped him in the face once. Just have her do it again. It's fine.
I'll allow it.
He does
Just
have a
said the
higher armor
shoulder.
class now.
Beau, you are truly intelligent. Please utilize it.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that.
I don't know if he can.
Be
Only
safe.
time will tell.
And thank you.
Are
Well
you sure
then.
you're alright?
No, but you move forward, right?
You
Sometimes
Yeah,
you have
Are
to.
you
Yeah.
walking back or are you taking Cherry? And the whole cart?
I don't need the whole cart, no. I could probably do for a walk anyway.
Ste'yn, I need your help getting that mirror.
Oh, yes. We'll get the mirror from the carts.
And, oh, also there was the barrel. Hey, Viola,
And the
can you
barrel?
help with this barrel?
No.
What is the barrel? I'm not helping you without asking questions from here on out.
I don't know what's in the barrel, but I carried it earlier. Kind of.
Viola's gonna go investigate the barrel.
Nora's gonna go.
On our next tale. Alright, so how are we finding Elikin?
I'm not helping you find Elikin.
It made me think of something that Jeremy lost.
Didn't he lose a coin or some sort of medallion he said that he was looking for?
Do they
You
look similar?
stole from Jeremy?
Why would you take Beau? You terrorized that boy.
I'm not going on the boys' side. Boys are gross. You're
Hope
not
I didn't defile your hair when I braided it for you.
At
She was
Chapter's
trying
turn,
to us when we were testing out the goggles of night.
He was the one that I didn't kill, so I didn't try his blood, and he was a year ago.
You killed one?
I'm sorry, is that what I said?